And we are live.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we are here. We are here from the gutter to growth. So, Dr. King, let me clarify something because I call you Dr. King. So, for those who may be listening, Dr. King is one of my brothers.
Oh, people didn't know that.
So, so if
Oh,
you are listening and you know me, but not so familiar with my family, I love calling him Dr. King because I just think, when you've gone through earning that title, it's just good for people to honor the title. So I love to say Dr. King. So
oh man.
he is one of my oldest brothers. He is not the oldest,
Uh,
but he is one of my older brothers. So we are here today. So this topic tonight, oh my
Hey,
gosh.
hey, I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a part. We will have to have a part two
Yes.
because
Like I'm like just chewing on it and I'm like, "Oh my god, I got some spots in some areas that I need to really examine and assess to see
mhm,
where I
to
stand." So
see. Ooh.
so
Now
look,
you're not the only one. You are
we're
not the only one.
about growing up in survival mode and how that shapes us. And we're talking about the us, the now us,
But now us.
the now us. And, you know, we've talked about this topic briefly in some of our podcasts, but we haven't necessarily just taken the time to really, really talk about how survival mode impacts like every single area of our life.
Every area of our life.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Especially when you grew up in survival.
my
And
yes.
what's scary is some people don't know that they grew up in survival
And that they're still
and
in
they
it.
still operating in it. So they don't. They
Oh my gosh. I get to run into people all the time, and we talk about this podcast and
Mm,
why we're doing it, and I just get to tell people that it is so refreshing to me and it stretches me, it's growing me, it's allowing me
yes,
personally
yes, yes,
to see different areas where I still can grow.
yes.
And boy, this is one of those ones, Dr. King. This is one of those ones. We're going to talk about what it looks like because sometimes we can say, are you in survival mode? What happened in your childhood that
Mm-hmm.
caused the trauma,
Caused it.
that allowed that survival mode to even come about,
Yes.
So what does it look like? What are the signs? Because there are clear signs, like, and
There,
by the time we finish, you're gonna be saying to yourself, like I was doing to myself, like, Lord,
there,
help me,
there, there
help
are signs. There's
me.
signs. And so growing up in survival mode means you grew up learning how to make it, but never learning how to live. We I'm telling you, I know how to make it. I know you hear people say this very familiar quote, trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents.
Wow.
We knew how to make it. It was just learning how to live and live. And the Bible tells us to live life more abundantly. So growing up in survival mode, it kept you counting pennies while dreaming about making dollars. But
Wow.
you were so stuck, all you could think about is counting pennies. Because you've been trained all your life to stretch little into much. I gotta learn how to make this little much. So that's what we learned in this survival mode. So growing up, it caused us to never feel safe. Think about it.
Yeah.
because chaos felt
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Chaos was normal.
Yeah.
It was normal to live in a storm. It was a normal to be in crisis mode. It was normal to live in the unexpected. Like we talk
Mhm.
about now in this life with Christ having an expectation, but when you in survival mode, you live in a life of crisis. You live in a life of unexpected. You don't
Right.
know what to expect. You never
Right.
know what's going down. So and it
Mhm.
caused us to mature fast. We had to grow up really fast. We
Mhm.
had adult responsibilities at times, even though we were children. And I mean, not all the time, but our mom had to lean on us to
Yeah.
do certain things as children,
Responsible.
you
Yeah.
know, because she had to go to work. You
Mhm.
know, she had to go to work. She had to make sure we had food on the table, a roof over our head. So when we got older, it's kind of like I wanted to live in the promised land, but the problem was due to me spending so much time in survival mode. I
Wow.
still had that wilderness mindset. I don't
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, if anyone listening, you feel as though you in survival mode is your reality. I mean, survival mode. You got to understand, survival mode was meant to be your training ground. It was
Mhm.
never meant to be your permanent address. You
Yeah.
know, so if you, I'll say my age, and you're still operating in this survival mode, it was meant to be a training ground, never your permanent address.
Right. And people who are in survival mode, and we're going to talk about some of those areas where, you probably are in survival mode, but some of those characteristics that you take on, and this is what really was an eye opener to me is it can be in so many forms. Like, I know myself personally is not wanting to depend on people or need people. Like, that is one of the toughest things for me that I'm having to navigate through life now at my age of
Powerful.
having to depend on people or needing people, understanding that you need a circle of people around you, but that is so hard. So if you find it hard or if you're guilty because, at certain parts of your life, you may need your circle, or
Mhm.
even trust, even in survival mode, it's just you find it so difficult to trust people. Like, we know the scripture tells
Ooh,
us to guard our hearts and mind, but if you are like a hard, the biggest mountain there that you can't
come on.
chisel away because you just trust absolutely anyone, you are in survival mode.
You in survival mode. So what we learn is when we grow up in survival mode, love feels like a luxury that we can't afford. It
Mm.
comes we don't you don't expect to be loved sometimes. It's like I'm not expecting this because I was in survival mode. I didn't see this. I didn't feel this. So it becomes like, well, I can't afford this, and you know how it is when you can't afford something, you just overlook it. You
Mhm.
see it, you like, oh man, that looks good, that's nice, that's wonderful, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's how we are. That when you in survival mode, that's how you operate. Love is not for me. The right relationship is not for me. A good job is not for me because sometimes some of us may have saw that, but not all. We saw certain things in life, so we'll say, when our mind is asked to stretch or we're asked to dream bigger. It's hard and it's difficult to do that. So even when it comes to our relationships, we begin to push people away, or hurt people who God sent to help us.
Yeah.
Because we're still operating. I don't know how to accept the help. I don't know how to accept the love. I have difficulty expressing it. So you mistake struggle for love because you are so accustomed to chaos. So I'm
Right.
always, if we're not fighting, if we're not arguing, if we don't have some type of discord or dissension, then you don't love me because we should be fighting. That's what love is. You gotta let me know you care about how you. I want to see you get mad and get
Fight for
angry. Yeah,
me.
fight for me. And it's like, well, I should just have to love you. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have to fight for you. I
Yeah.
should be able to show you. I should be able to tell you. So real love for people who are in survival mode, it feels uncomfortable because you've been trained to expect betrayal. Huh? You had family members who they took, oh, none of them, no, and there's nothing to any of them. None of them are any good. So you come up, you expect betrayal. You expect not having that commitment. So survival mode makes you feel like a move, like it's a moving target. Like
Wow.
I'm trying to hit success. I'm trying to hit stability. I'm trying to hit elevation. I'm trying to hit promotion. I'm trying to hit being a better person. But it's like it's a moving target because success feels like pressure, not pleasure. We
Wow.
should be enjoying. Come on, y'all. We should be enjoying the success that we have now. But it feels when you're in that survival mode, it
Yeah.
feels like pressure, and we know what pressure does. It busts pipes.
Yeah.
Because survival taught you. Think about it. It taught you to fear losing more than enjoy living.
Wow.
That's where. So you got to convince it. It convinces you that you're only as valuable as
Mm,
what you can endure. So
wow.
if I'm not going through something, then something wrong with me. Like I got to be going through something. I have to be going through a struggle. I have to be experiencing pain. I have to be going through depression. It's like I have to go through something, and that's the validation. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm turning it back over to you, sis. So what happens is we overwork, we overgive, we overprove, so which causes us to overstay.
Wow.
You measure your worth by your scars instead of the beautiful soul that you are.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what it does to us. Mhm.
You said so much. And I was gonna go back, but I'm gonna stay in something that you said
I want to
because
say this. That's powerful. Cora just made a comment. I just want to say that's powerful, Cora.
because in that survival mode, people can carry that same struggle into their relationship with God. Like it's like constant instead of resting in him, it's like that constant just travailing and crying out and just but no like
Always in labor. Always trying to give
victorious
birth.
or overcoming. And so I'm telling you, if you are constantly your relationship with God is like this, God is me and you fighting, fighting, fighting. You got to ask yourself, like, am I in survival mode? Because
Uh-huh.
there should be a rest. Like, I understand sometimes we got to get down to the nitty gritty with God. You know, we go through some stuff, but if there's never a point where there is just rest
That
when
is
it
so
comes
powerful.
to your relationship with Christ, I'm challenging you. I'm telling you, like, this is so real
It's,
because as
it's,
I'm talking to you, like,
yeah.
I'm just, it's me too taking inventory of myself, like, because
It's that
I know.
yeah, that yoke. He said, take my yoke. He said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And that's the issue. We want our peace. Not
Mm,
understanding that our peace is in survival. But his
mm,
peace gives us rest.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, he said, take my yoke. Let go of your yoke. Take my yoke. He even told us, cast your cares, man. Hey, cast. We know throw. Get them out of your hands. Why are you holding on to that? Get it out. And I'm telling you, we got to get to that point because what happens is when you grow up in survival mode, trust doesn't come easy.
It doesn't.
You,
I'm
you've
living
experienced
proof.
this heartache, you've experienced this heartbreak, you've experienced this not just, and the thing is, it happened in your life, it became a pattern, it happened in your life, but you saw it in others' lives.
Yeah,
And so they sold that into you. You know,
yeah.
so now you have difficulty trusting people, and then you got to look at yourself and say, "Hold on, some situations I can see this happened and that happened, but then you got to examine yourself. What did I do? Did I cause anything that? Because so it doesn't come easy. And receiving help, it feels dangerous. Like,
Dang.
hold on, it's almost like it's unnatural. Like,
Yeah.
so you equate independence with safety. You know,
Mm.
think about it. Here's a sis.
Bro, say that again. Say that again.
We equate independence with safety.
Mm.
And so what do you hear? So what do you hear? You probably can give me some. I don't need.
Yeah.
You'll say, I don't need this. I don't need that. Oh, I can do bad
Yeah.
by myself.
Yes.
So we start giving life to words.
I'm gonna make it happen. I always make it
I
happen.
always.
By any means necessary, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to
Mhm.
make it happen.
So we start creating environments. You have to understand your words, life and death is in the power of tongue. So by what we speak, we start to create environments, and we're trying to figure out why am I still operating or dwelling in this environment? It's because that's what you keep on speaking. If you want to change your life, you really got to change what comes out of your
Yeah.
mouth, because when you start speaking it, you will start seeing it. So we have to be careful. So when you've grown up struggling, help always felt, it feels like expensive in a sense. If that makes
Like,
sense,
what you
because
want? What do you want in return?
return, because it feels like it's not free. Like
Yes.
nobody want, if I get help from you, like there has, like I got no, I want to help you. I've been through a lot myself, but I want to help you. I want to
Yeah.
help you pull you out. So people who should have protected you, they wasn't there. So it's kind of like, okay,
You take it to
I'm
them.
not used to having anybody there.
Yeah.
I'm not used to having people support. Why? Because what happens is, man, people. I tell people the greatest form of communication is your ability to listen.
Wow.
And because people don't take time to listen, they try and diagnose a person
Mm.
without even being qualified. When if they would just listen, a person would actually tell them what's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. If a person starts bleeding on you, you know what I'm saying, who you didn't cut, they're letting you know I'm hurting. So
Yes.
instead of
Don't take
attacking
it
them, you
personal.
gotta listen to them.
Yes.
Listen to what they're saying. They're hurting. And so now I gotta cover you. I gotta protect you. You might be bleeding on me. You might even be cutting me up. But because I understand that you're hurting, because I understand that you're in survival mode, I
Mm.
have to cover you. I have to protect you. It's big.
Look, let's talk about this other side though
Mhm.
of survival mode, because it's this side where it's like I don't want any help from people. But then it's this side where you are doing everything you can to please people. Like you're just a people pleaser because you just feel like if I could just continue to please, continue to please, continue to do. If I show up for this person, if I show up at like, let's talk about even that part of survival mode.
You would too many times we are other people's hero. We are other people's shero.
Mm.
But the truth is, we feeling like a zero. I'm
Wow.
telling you, we're busy helping put other people back together, and we're broken ourselves.
Mm.
You gotta take time to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, you'll constantly find yourself operating in survival mode.
Yes.
You will always, if you stay in survival, I'm telling you. And what happens is because we're so stuck on pleasing people, we don't recognize help. Now there is this scripture. This scripture now, that says, all my help comes from the Lord.
Yes.
They can be found in Psalms 121. I look at all my help. And sometimes that help will show up through people.
Mm.
Sometimes it shows up through opportunities, or it shows up through community. It shows up in a podcast like this. But
Yes.
what happens is we got to be mindful because God's sending help, but
Yes.
because we're so consumed
Mm.
with trying to do more for somebody else or pour into somebody else, we begin to do things. We become God.
Yeah. Yes.
We because what we're saying is, I like that, Corey. We say God, when we do what we want to do, we say, God, I don't need you. So
So
if you don't need God, you're making yourself a God.
making yourself an idol. When you talk about what the idols are, some let's talk about it.
You make yourself an idol. You make your kids an idol. You make that relationship an idol. You make that job an idol. It's so many things we make
But let's
idol.
talk about what happens when you start making your putting yourself in the place of God. Because sometimes people are like, why am I so burnt out? Like, why am I just can't seem to get myself energized. I can't like I'm
We
just
throwing a little
beat
shade
down.
there now, boy.
Like,
Listen, you gotta be,
because we were never intended to try to take the Lord's place and try to be. all things for all people or
Mhm.
everybody, even if they're in our circle or our own family.
So, sis, when you think about a yoke, they would put the yoke on the oxen
Mm-hmm.
in order to control the oxen. But when you study it, it also talks about what he say, take my yoke. So,
Mm,
which means now you would see two oxen yoked up together. So the weaker oxen, the stronger oxen could bear
mhm.
whatever the weaker oxen couldn't accomplish. So what happens is when we take the place of God, we take on the responsibility of being the stronger one.
Which was
I
me.
like one of my favorite poems is Footprints. And
Wow.
when the question was asked, God, why do you I only see one set of footprints? He said, that's when I was carrying you.
Mhm.
When you take the place of God, you're saying, I choose to take all of the burden.
Wow.
He said, I'm your burden bearer, but you choose to take all of the burden when he says cast your care, you can't cast it because you said, no, that's why we hold on to it. Because
Yeah.
I'm in control. I can fix this. I can do this. I can repair this. No, you gotta give it to Jesus. You gotta be willing to give it and let it go.
Those of you who are listening, I'm telling you in my spirit, I just heard even those children.
Yeah. The Lord
Even
knows.
children. Like sometimes we can give God so many things. Like, okay, God, I trust you with this, I trust you with that. But when it comes to our children, that is the hardest thing. Like, we will try to fix it until it tears us all the way down. But God said, even those children,
Mm.
I don't even care if they're adults, even those children.
You gotta give them back. You got
Hmm.
to give them back. He gave them to us, so you have to give them back. So
Yes.
sometimes things are happening. What we do is we get in the way.
Yes.
And we get in the way. Guess what we do? We get in the way and we call it protecting. But the
Hmm.
Bible tells us now, we're children of God. The Bible tells us that whom God loveth, he chasteneth, or he
Yeah.
chastises, or he disciplines. Uh, and even when it comes to our children, I'm gonna say this scripture because a lot of times we say it one way, and I'm not telling it. I'm just saying. I want you to understand the context of what I'm saying. It says, "If you spare the rod, you spoil the child." But
Hmm.
that's not what it says. It says, "If you spare the rod, you hate your child."
Yes. Yes.
So we have to be able to tell our kid, "Listen, I need you. You come
Yes.
from me. I require. We have to require more out of them. I require more out of them because here's the thing." My child, you go and do it, but one thing is that you didn't learn that from me. You didn't get that from me. I held you accountable.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
giving you back over to God. So we have to give our children, that's a part of that casting, but our children will hold as idols. We'll
Yes.
treat them like a king with bad grades. We'll
Wow.
treat her like a queen, just as rude and disrespectful as she could be. Ooh, we gotta let go. We gotta let go and give them to God.
We do. I just want to hit this area of survival mode because I just think, and I'm grabbing my face because I don't even know where it's going to go, but I
Uh-oh.
know we have to
Uh-oh.
talk about it. We have to talk about relationships
Mm,
because so many people are just in survival when it comes to being in their
mhm.
relationships, with their, whether you're married or you're like dating and you like trying to figure out if they the one. So many people are in survival mode because they themselves don't even know what love's supposed to look like, how you give it, how you receive it. They don't even know just how you handle a relationship, period, because they themselves have been in survival mode. So you're just going day to day, like
Yeah,
day to day, like no true, authentic love, no growing. Like in relationships, your love should just be getting like more and more as you're
yeah,
growing. It should grow more and more. Like, let's talk about even that because God wants you to be like thriving
yeah.
in your relationships because in order to build the kingdom of God, we have to have healthy relationships, healthy
Well,
families.
you opening
So
something.
let's talk about
You
that.
opening something. Listen, when you're talking about survival mode, think about a survivor. A
Mhm.
person who's surviving is going from place to place every day because they're trying to survive. there's no stability to their life. And if there's no stability to their life, that means there's no foundation.
Mm.
And if there's no foundation, you have nothing to build upon. So that relationship, a lot of times, is just built off of, the truth is, it's built off of fear because there's no foundation. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And we live in that constant fear. I'm gonna tell you how we live in that constant fear. People probably don't even think about this.
Mhm.
Well, if they leave or if they do, we live in the constant fear of always having a rebuttal or a response to the what if.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We live that. If then, we live in that if then. If this happens, then I'll do this. Instead of building this foundation, not off of fear. Because when you build anything, when you build a foundation off of fear, it's bound to crack on depression.
Right. Yes.
It won't stand. It's bound to, so you live in that life of, I just need to make it. So what we happen? We take, in any relationship, I need a man. I
Mhm.
need a woman. So
Mhm.
when somebody shows us attention, when somebody says, I love you, when somebody makes you feel a type of way that you wanted to feel and you've never felt that way, or somebody says something that you always wanted to hear, you have to understand, you got people, they would study you to misuse you. They'll study you to misuse you. When they see that you have a genuine heart and you are actually a good person, that's why you got to be careful of environments. Everybody doesn't mean you any good. They'll say everything that they need to say in order to get the goods, and then they're going on about their business. I'm just speaking from a man
Yeah.
perspective. I can let you, but I'm speaking from a man. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you entertain. You got to be careful who you open up to. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful of all those things. So the danger is you settle for safe instead of stepping into your destiny. You settling for safe. This person makes me, but that safe is momentary. That safe is temporary. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? That safe is not
And you
sustainable.
find
That
yourself
safe
in
is just
that
for the moment.
cycle. Yeah,
Yep, it's
constant
just for the
cycle.
moment. You
Mhm.
make me feel good, and it's just for the moment. You tell me what I want to hear, and as soon as you get fed up with me, okay, now here it is. I'm repeating this same cycle. But you want to build something, you got to get, in order to get out of survival mode, you got to build something that's with some longevity. You got to build something that's long lasting. So survival thinking is an old wineskin. I want you to think about this. Survival thinking is an old wineskin. And guess what? It can't hold a new thing that God is trying to give you. So that's why you got to change the way you operate and the things that you do. Because if you keep putting yourself out in a certain light, that's what you're going to attract.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
attracts like. And you keep trying to figure out, why am I attracting this type of relationship? Because I keep putting myself in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, the person who really loves you, who's really head over heels for you, or whatever, you're not even paying attention to them. They're not your type. You know what I'm saying? You want somebody with hair, they're bald. You want somebody who tall, they're short. You want somebody who's skinny, they're big. They're not even, but I'm talking about, but they will go to the moon and back for you.
Yes.
That's the person that'll massage your feet. That's the person who agrees your scalp. You know what I'm
And
saying? That's
having genuine conversations
patient.
to help you get all of that stuff out and genuinely, like you said, listen. You
It's-
know,
we too
uh,
busy looking. It's hard to listen when you're too busy looking, because we too busy looking and making googly eyes at each other. So you know what I'm saying? I want to know, it sounds crazy, but it's been the thing that I had to understand is relationship has other components to it. That
yes,
other component is companionship and
partnership.
also partnership. So when you partners, you do what? You build something.
Yes,
So you got to be
together.
careful. Is this somebody that I can build with? Because if
Mhm,
this is somebody I can build with, I'm not wasting my time. I need to know what's your plan. This is
mhm.
my plan. My plan is, this is where I'm at now. I'm in school. I'm working on this. I'm doing this. Okay, what's your plan? And how are we going to get that together?
Yes.
There's levels to this.
Mhm.
There's because we're talking about, see what we're talking. People are thinking about doing something yearly, when what God's trying to build something is, He's trying to build something generational.
Yes.
No, He's not focused on the year. No, he's focused on helping you build something generational. So even if God blesses you with the right person or the right opportunity, if you have a survival mindset, you are sabotaging
Wow.
because you're stuck in lacking
Wow.
mistrust. So you
Wow.
you have to be you have to be careful. This is a part, you got to find somebody you can build with. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't get mad at me. Come on, y'all. Don't throw any rocks through this screen at me. But I'm gonna tell you something. When God created the first union, He didn't tell them to love and do this. He gave them a responsibility to take care. You
He
take
did.
care of each other. Adam, you take care of this guard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And He told her that she's gonna be your helper.
Yes.
See, you looking for somebody who gonna try and make you feel good every day. Boy, let me tell you, hey, you go sometimes you're gonna be like, oh Lord, who is this woman? Who is this man you gave me? But you gotta
Because
remember
it
why you
comes to stretch you and to
yeah.
help make you better, pull out the best
That's
in you. Like,
and that's usually the issue. That's
mhm,
where that's where the confrontation comes.
mhm.
Because I love you so much, I refuse to let you settle.
Yes.
I said I didn't just marry you for where we were in that present moment.
Right.
I married you because I saw a future in you.
Mm,
I saw a future. I saw a destiny.
mm.
That's why I married you. Come on, we got to do this together.
If y'all ain't having conversations like this with your spouses, I'm telling you, like, this is your time to say, let me see if I'm in survival mode. Like, let me spark up these conversations and see how my spouse responds. Like, because, and then be gentle because they might not have ever experienced
Experience.
that. So, but these are things that
Oh
both of
God.
you need to navigate through. So, because both of you might need to come out of survival mode.
Yeah. You got to have those conversations because I'm telling you, if you want to know if you're in survival mode, all you got to do is look at your bank account. We'll spend. Come on now, we'll spend like we ain't never had anything.
We do.
Just because I got it, I'm gonna spend it. But if you spending everything, you can't build nothing.
Wow.
So
Talk
you look, those are those conversations. Let's have that conversation about that high yield savings account.
yeah.
Let's have that conversation about that, right? Because guess what? Hey, when we retire, I want us to walk away. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want us to walk away. But a person to tell you, if you look at come on, when you look at a person spending, they'll tell you all about it. They'll tell you everything you need to know about them
Yeah.
because it'll let you know where their heart is, and then you
Wow.
have to have that conversation
Yes. Yes.
because it's
Yes.
partnership.
And we're there because we're there. We're on the relationship. So let's talk about the dangers
Hmm.
of trying to build a relationship with somebody who is stuck in that survival mindset. Like,
Oh,
you're trying to build and it's just you're like, "Man, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting anywhere." Like, what are the dangers of, just being in those relationships and you're stuck and you don't want to try to get out or they don't want to try to get out?
what you do is you you hit what is it you know how you keep replaying the same song.
Yeah, rewind.
Yeah, you keep putting it you keep reliving the same
Mm,
playlist.
wow.
You keep reliving the same playlist, those same, and to the point that you remember it by heart. So when certain things happen, you start speaking it before it even take place because you've already been there so many times. And what happens is you get comfortable. You've grown accustomed to it.
Mhm.
So it doesn't even shock you anymore. As a matter of fact, it doesn't shock you. You're comfortable with it.
Wow.
Yeah, you're comfortable with it. It doesn't. It there's. I mean, you don't. There's no more danger. There's no more fear when it comes to it because you're not afraid. You're not afraid of nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, the danger. I mean, I told you, you settle for safe. You're not. You're no longer afraid. You're no longer afraid. Because you're safe in crisis. You're no
Wow.
longer afraid because you're safe in chaos. You're no longer afraid because you're safe in the storm because that's how you always operated.
Right.
And
Look,
so,
look, I want you, those of you who are listening, if you know that it's an area in your life where you are in survival mode, just say me. Comment me
yeah, yeah,
in the chat because we're trying to be honest. And
yeah.
if I could comment, I would say me
Me.
because I was thinking about that part of, not needing people. And I need to get better with allowing myself to be comfortable to accept help from people.
Mhm.
Like, that's the area where the Lord was like, you talking about this, but you need to work on that area. But comment me, because that's your assignment. I want you to be thinking about and praying like, Lord, I truly know that I'm in survival mode in this area and
Wow.
I need to grow from this for myself, for my family, whether that's your spouse, whether that's your kids, for your work environment, for the kingdom. Because here's the thing, God is calling us to do so much, but sometimes us remaining in survival mode in certain areas can
It
hinder
can hinder us.
what he's calling us to. So look, tonight we just all honest with just we gonna be free. We gonna break free from this.
Think about this, think about this. One of the most difficult things, one of the things that we do on a consistent when we're in survival mode is
Mhm.
we suffer in silence. We
Yes.
suffer in silence. Man, we torn to pieces. We broken. We busted. We disgusted. We feel defeated.
Mhm.
you know, but we suffer in silence because that's a sign of weakness.
Mhm.
That's a sign. I'm telling you. That's so we go ahead and we suffer, and
And
that's the
that's how we
danger.
grew up
Yeah,
because
that's how we grow. It's a danger
yeah,
because you know what I mean. Actually, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
listen. I'm about to mess you up here because when we were saying that, we were saying what goes on in this house. We talking about the roof that was over our head. What goes on in this house stays in this house, and the danger is what we're really saying now is what goes on in this house
Ooh.
stays in this house.
Mm.
And so I sit there and I suffer in silence because I don't want to tell no, I don't want to tell nobody. I don't want nobody to think less of me. I don't want anybody to judge me. I don't want anybody to look down on me. So I keep this all. I'm about to lose my mind, but
Mm.
I'm keeping it all to myself because what goes on in this house stays in this house.
And fear of judgment,
Fear just, and
fear.
that's big.
And what's so crazy, bro, is you have your little circle of people that you trust,
Mhm.
but still that survival
Oh
mode
man.
will just keep you from even sharing it with
So,
your little group, your circle.
so,
Like,
so you said circle, but you know how survival mode makes you feel? It makes you feel like it's a circus and you're
yeah,
the clown. It
yeah,
makes you feel
yeah.
like it's a circus and you're the clown. So
Mhm.
you don't want to say anything because you don't want to be the one that everybody's laughing at. You
Yeah.
don't want to be the one that everybody's talking about when actually I got this circle. These are my circle of friends. And if you got a circle and they're not your friend, then you're in the wrong circle. I
Yeah.
told you, you better be careful who you surround yourself with. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're not surrounding yourself with a listening ear and a running mouth. You need to surround yourself with people who, say, who are confidential. We
Yes.
got confidence. We got confidentiality on our jobs.
Yeah.
Come on. Why? Come on. If you can be confidential on your job, but you can't be confidential with me, and you call me friend.
Your friend.
Come
Yeah.
on now. So it's
Yeah.
like you got to be careful because that's survival mode. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. That's a circus. That's not a circle. That's a
Yeah.
circus. And you're gonna be the clown. Everybody will be looking at you. Everybody will be laughing. That mind will talk you out
It
of
will
what you need.
talk to you. And look, and this is for believers too. Like, I'm an example. I tell the story all the time when I first wrote my book to tell about my side of the
Yeah.
story. I weep like a baby because that's
Ooh.
the first thing I was like, oh my God, everybody's gonna know my business. Everybody's gonna know what went on in our household. People are gonna judge me. People like, and I'm like, that happened years and years ago, but yet it's like
Still
that's
replaying in
the
your mind.
first thing that came to me, you know.
It is funny we talk about this and how everybody responds differently.
Yeah.
And I tell this funny, story. We were playing youth league sports and everything, and Johnny, I'm about to call him by his other, but Johnny, our oldest brother, boy, he was so stuck. He didn't want anybody to know we were in hard times. And so mom would give us a few dollars of food stamps, and in case we needed anything, we'd go to the little corner store that was down the road from Beasley. We had a basketball games on. Say, hey man, go in there and get me something. I'm like, if I get you something, I'm using your money to buy me something too.
Right.
I'm gonna keep, but it's like I recognize, this is for real. This is real. This is real life. But survival mode will have you putting on blinders. It'll blur your vision and have you thinking that now you gotta see it as it is so you can adjust and make the necessary changes and learn how to seek God and maneuver your way through.
Yes.
It is, we say it is
What it
what
is.
it is.
What it is. And you learn how people are through navigating through these
Mhm.
things. So sometimes we're so fearful about, leaning into people and needing people because of that fear. But sometimes that can be a way for us to see if people in our circle should really even be in our
Really
circle.
even be in our circle.
Well, we're trying to avoid something that really may be beneficial to us in the future because it'll give us an opportunity to see who do I need to take out or add or
Snip,
what.
snip, snip, snip. You got
Yeah.
to see some people. If you listen, I've learned in this life, if you're going to make it in this life, your cutoff game has to be strong.
Mhm.
Just because y'all grew up together and just because y'all grew up together making mud pies and they defended you,
Right.
and they did certain things like that. As you grow, that doesn't always mean that they're good for you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it depends, as it pertains to where you're going. So you got to be willing. You got to be able to cut. No, I love you. I'm not cutting you off because I don't love you. I'm cutting you off because we got two different agendas. When I'm trying to go, you're not trying to go. And before I let you keep me from getting there, I'll cut you off.
Wow. Wow.
You got listen. In essence, what I'm telling somebody who's listening, you gotta love yourself enough. You gotta love yourself enough to have a strong cutoff game.
Mm.
Because survival mode would keep you holding on to people you should have been let go of.
So true.
That's what survival mode does. It keeps you holding on to people you should have been let go of.
Gosh, that's so
Yeah,
true.
so yeah, that cutoff game has to be strong. And you sitting
Yeah.
here, you're trying to go, man. It's you have so much stuff that just continuously goes on in the background. It's just like it doesn't shut down. It's constantly running. So you got to, there's certain people will wake that background up in you,
Mhm.
yeah, and bring it to the forefront. So you got to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's talk about this because in survival mode, you start trying to pick things like or make things a threat
Ooh,
or make things something that's an attack or
mm-hmm.
something that is against you. Like, am I speaking to anybody who,
You, hey, so,
so where you're like, that's a threat. Like, no, they're against me, or no, let's talk about that piece of survival mode that just makes you feel like you're like the target. Like everybody like has that target on you. Man, like that is a real thing. Like, let's talk about that because the enemy want us to stay in survival mode because he want us to feel like we got this target on our back. Like, let's talk about.
one of the biggest thing is I had to learn is just because you left the storm doesn't mean the storm left you.
Mm.
So I'm telling you,
Wow.
like you are all if you don't declare that you are a victor, you will always make yourself a victim.
Wow.
Why? Because the storm never left you.
Wow.
You left the storm, but that storm that was started in that environment you were in still raging in you. You
Mm.
left the person who caused you the pain,
Mhm.
but that pain is still it's still there. That pain didn't leave you. So survival mode can still run in the background, and that's that issue. It's still running, and we don't understand it's running until we feel offended.
Wow.
And once we're offended, now that what's been running the whole time in the background now
Mm.
comes to the forefront.
Wow.
Yeah. So you
Wow.
got to be careful. That's why I say you can't be easily offended. I tell people all the time when I'm dealing with people, whether it's at work, whether it's at church, whether it's just family, whether if a person, I'm not accustomed to a person, going off snapping or whatever on me. When that happens, I'm giving them their space.
Right.
I'm giving them a space because that's not their cat. Something going on.
Yeah. I
Something's
refuse to
going
let
on.
it on.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, they don't normally do this, but I'd rather them do this to me than to someone else. Go ahead and get this out, bro. Go ahead and get this out, sis. Go ahead and get this out, friend. Because I don't want you to do that to somebody else. Because when you feel threatened, we know what happens when people feel threatened. They come out swinging, they come out with guns, and somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what happens is, I'm gonna give you a quote or a cliche that we constantly hear: hurting people
Hurt.
hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. When you're in survival mode, you're constantly, because you've been hurt. You want to make sure that nobody else hurts you. So if anything sounds like or makes you feel or think that you could get hurt in this relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna hurt them before they hurt you. Or you will hurt yourself at the expense of not being hurt by them by telling yourself, I don't care.
Wow.
I don't care about you. I don't feel this way about. We'll hurt ourselves at the expense, so we can protect. So what we're doing is we're protecting ourselves. We're keeping ourselves in this shell. We're keeping ourselves in this bubble, and we're surviving. And we don't know. So all of our relationships, all of our situations are one big hustle
Yeah.
because
Wow.
we because
Wow.
we that's testing the child of survival. Oh God,
Wow.
yeah. Oh peace, boy, look here. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Survival.
Wow.
Listen,
Look, and that's
if I
exhausting.
can say this though, but think
Yeah.
about it, because you're talking about being a threat. When you in
Mhm.
survival mode, healthy love, that feels uncomfortable.
It does. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
somebody is genuine, I want you to think about this, because
Yeah.
we're adults. Think about this. When there's somebody who has genuinely loved you, cared for you, but because of what you've been through,
Mm.
you pushed them away.
Mm.
They were
Wow.
trying to offer you something healthy, but you were so accustomed to unhealthy, you
Yes.
didn't even know how to receive it.
Yeah.
So
And that
it's
is, that is whew, because people haven't learned what healthy relationships even entail.
mm-hmm,
Like I was just on lunch with a young lady and she was in some unhealthy friendships, just regular friendships.
mm-hmm,
And I used to just talk to her and just talk to her, trying to just encourage her to tell her what healthy friendships look like, what unhealthy friendships look like if they're taking your energy, if they, but a grown woman said to me, she just now understands what a healthy friendship feels like and looks like because she finally was able to just sit back and just learn it. Like some of this stuff we got to learn, like, and we have to observe so that we'll know what healthy relationships look like.
my God, my God. I mean, survival mode is something. This is a topic here.
Mm-hmm.
Survival mode causes you to trust patterns more
Mm.
than you trust people.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
You're accustomed to a specific pattern.
Mhm.
So it doesn't matter what people are saying. Well, I don't care how much you try and pour into that person and what you say,
Yes.
they're accustomed to that pattern.
Wow.
And they keep on recycling that
Mhm.
same pattern. I've been there too, because we keep on recycling that same. So
Mm.
you replay old traumas in new relationships. So
Mhm.
in essence, what you say is, I'm familiar with this.
Yes. And
So
it's
even though
comfortable.
everybody else can see, like
Yeah.
this isn't a healthy circle for you. But I'm familiar with this.
Mm.
This is what feels normal. This is what I know. I can move. But it's not good for you. But
Mm-mm.
this is my normal. So we start, and so you expect, but you already have an expectation of what's going to happen, but it doesn't cause you to move away from the situation any faster.
You gonna ride it out. You
You gonna
just
ride, you ride it
you
out.
just ride it out.
This is my norm. That's the thing with survival mode. That's why you got to get out of it. Survival mode becomes your norm. God can deliver you from
Yeah.
Egypt. But you've got to allow him. God can deliver you from Egypt, but you've got to also let him deliver Egypt from out of you. Because if not, you keep going back.
Yeah.
Think
Yes.
about it. We sit here, I'm telling you, when you think about it, what did they say? Here it is. You've been praying all these hundreds of years to be free. And all of a sudden you get your freedom. But because it's not like, wouldn't we better off in Egypt?
Wow.
You rather be bound than free. But that we don't think about it like that. And that's what connections do to us, because I want to be connected to a certain circle so bad, I'll let that circle
Yes.
bind me.
And because you get caught up in what things
Reset. Wow.
look like, this circle has this going on, or this circle is doing this. Let me be vulnerable with y'all right quick. Let me be vulnerable. So I was invited to participate in a circle. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll, come just and invite me. Well, then I see where the circle met without me.
Oh, wow.
The circle met without me. So I was like, okay, God, like, and then one of the people who in the circle was like, hey, I thought you was coming, but I didn't throw anybody under the bus. I was like, oh, I just couldn't make it. But in my mind, I was like, they didn't get back with me. They didn't invite me into the circle. So I was feeling kind of like, okay, God, you got to help me. And then the Holy Spirit said, did you really want to go? Did you really
Ooh.
did you really want to be a part of that circle? And I'm telling you, I broke out in a laughter because I had to say, well, no, not really. He said, so why are you disappointed?
Are you disappointed?
Why are you disappointed? Because sometimes we let what we see and what it appear to be, or what it seems like we people just, disregarded us, and we let that affect us. But sometimes you got to sit back and look at the circle and be like, do I really
Really
even
want?
want to be involved in this circle?
How many of us are in circles we don't want to be involved in? But we're in that circle because of the promise of what that circle offers us.
Mm-hmm.
So we start surrounding ourselves with people who can make us promises. But Bible says promotion doesn't come from the east nor the west.
Right.
It tells us it comes from God. So whatever we're looking for, it comes from God. But we'll find. So I got me. Listen, I'm one of them on here. I got a couple of close friends. One of them. That's my circle. My circle. We could talk. You gotta have you a circle that doesn't. You don't have to feel like I have to not be myself, or
Right. Or
I
they taking my energy, or I
yeah.
have to do this to fit in, or I have to talk like this to, because my country self, like, I
Don't get
just
Ebony, get Ebony.
look, my words might come out wrong, and so I can't be.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's like this. That's the thing. So you got to be, because of. I mean, and it's really. But that's what I mean. Really, that's what survival mode does. So
Mhm.
survival mode will have you searching for a place to fit in.
Mm,
You're looking
mm,
for a place to survive. You're
bro.
looking, yeah. You're looking for a group that'll welcome you, even
Yeah,
though you know this is not the group that I'm supposed to be connected to.
yeah.
But
And
they're willing to open their arms and welcome me.
let me say this, because we have some parents who you've been saying this to your children, and I don't want you to get discouraged, because I'm telling you, I say it to my children over and over and over. Don't get discouraged telling them this, because our children, our teenagers, our young adults, they go through this like more than ever,
More than
like
we will ever know.
just trying to like fit, and
Yeah.
they're placing themselves in this survival mode because they just can't seem to find their fit. You keep pouring into your children, and you let them know it's nothing wrong with them. They're
Nothing
just
wrong with that.
dealing with broken people who don't understand what friendship is all about, don't know how to love properly, don't even know what they don't know. So it is not your children, and don't get weary in pouring into them because they will find their group.
They're gonna
They'll
find
find it.
they'll find it. You got to keep pouring because that's the same thing with us. You got to keep pouring. You got to keep pouring. And a lot of times our children they'll come before us empty, the same way we're called to come before God. Guess
Hmm.
what? That's you can't fit. Hey, I can't fill up a full cup. So you know what I'm saying? God gives us opportunities to pour into our children. We don't always like how the opportunities,
Yeah.
happen sometimes, but it's an opportunity for us to pour into our children and give them some more guidance, some more direction, and so because they'll go in because if not, they'll go into survival mode, and they'll
Yes.
think even when I didn't raise you like this, you
Yes.
didn't see this from me.
But because
I
they
know,
want to fit
but
in,
that's what
they
everybody else is doing.
yeah.
And so they get into the same mode, the same groove that everybody else is doing, and I understand it's draining them.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
draining them.
Look, look, because we gotta end somewhere. We
Yeah,
gotta end. Look, we can go on and on about it because it's just it comes in every season of life of
Mhm.
just choosing not to let yourself be stuck in survival mode because of situations or
Yes,
relationships or just childhood traumas or whatever. You face it in every season of life, but how we respond,
that's
bro,
it.
is what is important because it's gonna try to come. It's gonna try to show up, but we have to make sure that we respond appropriately. And I'm gonna let you just close us out with whatever is on your heart, what you're feeling up in your spirit.
Oh, sis, I love it. I love it. I love it. I just need someone to know your response matters. How you respond matters. There are people who are watching you go through what you're going through. And I know at times you feel like you're not doing a good job of going through what you're going through. But I need you to know that people are watching you and they see a hero. They see a success.
Yeah.
They see someone who's worthy of honor. They see somebody who is worthy of praise. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't quit. Don't stop. But you keep on moving because I'm telling you that's your survival. You're going to go from survival to success. That's
Oh,
why we're having this. God is moving us from survival to success. So we come, we're here, we're learning, we're talking, we're opening up because we want to expose the cracks and the crevices in our life that that need work, that need help,
yeah.
that need to be that need to be fixed in essence. So I just want to encourage somebody. Don't give up. Don't
Yes.
give up. You may think you're surviving, but I need you to know that God's going to take you from survival to success. You are
Yeah.
better than you ever know. You're greater than you ever knew. And God's not done with you. He's not through with you. Greater is in you. Greater is in you. Greater is in you. You may be dealing with brokenness, but God's going to use that brokenness to create a breakthrough that's going to blow
Restoration.
everybody's mind
Yes.
who's watching you. So
Yes.
you stay encouraged, you be encouraged, and watch God do the more.
Amen. Until next time, y'all, from the gutter to growth, y'all be blessed. Me and my bro will never part. We love y'all.
Yeah.
Blessed night.
Y'all have a blessed night now.